For today, I woke up barely on time, and I was afraid that when I went to PE class for this final day on block schedule, I would get called out and get punished by the school attendant for the locker room. I hurried up and I ate some granola bars and a bunch of yogurt, but luckily today, as I was hoping, there was a substitute attendant for the teacher in the locker room, so I was very lucky. The door was open, so I was allowed to go inside and prepare without much problem, thankfully. And I avoided something very big today, if you guys could think about it. Thankfully, there was a sub today, and not really much happened. I made it to PE, and I did another 2 laps in 10-minute run instead of a 4 laps in 32 minutes, and I finished on time. On the other side, outside though, I did saw a physics class as the teachers were counting roll, and in a pool nearby that's adjacent to where the teachers are as they're counting laps for the students. The class tested some sort of small boats with a bunch of swimmers. And I believe that this was something physics class. I believe I'm not really sure, but it was interesting watching it. But anyways, as I look back on the other side, Kalisa and her friend cheated in PE labs by taking a shortcut, and the teachers marked them zero because you can't take shortcuts when doing exercises. Like that's obvious. Later on, I then grabbed the basketball holders from the room that's for the PE teachers and the basket too. Then I brought it outside as the teachers authorized us. I played basketball for a bit and then I joined the local volleyball game. For the next 20 minutes, we played and then we were called in for roll call one last time for our chosen sport, and we went back to volleyball. But I wanted to switch teams this time and test out something new. But sadly, the other teams I was in is the other one was a 1v1, so I couldn't join. The other team had too many people, so it was closed off, sadly. I had to stay with the group even though I didn't want to stay there, and I wanted to talk to other people, so I wasn't able to, sadly. So I was kind of sad at that point. I knew I should have taken this chance to talk to other random people, but oh well. I remember a girl earlier in PE class also screamed at me for taking her tennis ball, but she realized it wasn't hers, so she felt sorry. From PE to history, I then talked to my friend as I entered a study skills class to visit, and I saw people who I've never seen before and an atmosphere that I have never experienced. And it was a short talk in how study skills classes work, and it went mostly fine. There isn't really much going on here. And in history class, we had more notes regarding the Cold War space race and the competition between the US and the USSR. The teacher today had a question on how much hours it takes for 60 miles per hour on a car to get to the moon. Some answered 70 hours, some answered 200 hours, and some said the moon is 1,500 miles away, which is crazy. It is way more than that. Later, I worked on a mapping assignment that I had to use my PC's light on and the screen because we had to trace a map off of paper that wasn't transparent, so I had to use the computer screen. I didn't do as well, so I took a picture of the page that I needed so I don't have to haul the book home. The teacher then announced FAQs about the skit, and apparently that we're going to be 50% graded by the class and then 50% by the teacher. So if one thinks it's bad, the other thinks it's good. It's balanced. I then looked at my math test score as he was talking, and I realized I got a 71 out of 100 on the shapes test. I'm not a good fan at shapes, guys, so I'm just saying that out there. I then worked on my lines for the project, though I did get distracted. We're also required to do a video assignment later on for the PC, but the thing is that I'm not a big fan of watching videos on PC, especially when we can just do it on the class projector. So I didn't really like that too much. My headphone jack doesn't work either, so that's why, and it doesn't have clear captions. So alternatively, I finished it and then I went to lunch. For lunch, I wanted to talk to someone new, but I felt too afraid, so I stayed within Rayan's group and I remained chill for most of the time. I might play Uno with him tomorrow or just talk to another group. I'm not sure. Anyways, later on, not really much to note here. Mostly chill. I saw some other people and nothing really much. I hung out with Davin's group later on from lunch to math period. I did a dab instead of a handshake, and they reacted like, "Oh my God, Sigma, that is so tough." Anyways, for math period, Matthew asked how big the CASP test is, and it was a rhetorical question. So the teacher said, like, it's not how big it is, it's how long it is. So he went on a thinking bout in front of the class, saying that, like, it's about 8 hours for the test. That's how big it is. So the teacher kind of laughed at that point. Anyways, the teacher also announced an exam review for the performance task. And even though we're not doing any CASP review today, any pre-test for that, we're not doing that. We're just doing like a performance task for shapes about elevator kilogram limits and meters per minute for elevators A, B, and C. The teacher said that she's also pulling us for random partners, so that really sucks. I got paired with a girl who seems closed off, so being the leader I am, I tried to take full lead even though I had little knowledge in who she was, and it didn't really go too well in my opinion. I asked the teacher how bombing runs with the questions from, is this linear? Do we always multiply the percentage by 100%? The people are inside the elevator, right? And I used scratch paper to help me again, and I asked the teacher again, saying for this question, is that question 4 asked if rams enter B elevator from 30th floor. They travel from the ground to the 30th floor, and the equation is y equals 100 minus 75x. Y is the elevation, x is time. Elevator C boy enters the ground floor, goes to the 30th floor, and the equation y equals 50x. How many seconds will it take for two movers to reach the same elevation? And it looked like jargon to me, and I thought I had to solve some big things, but when I asked the teacher, I just realized we're actually solving linear equations, of actually for each equation, like where the meeting point is. And then my partner didn't know how to do this to solve for two linear equations, so, but I think I did solve the equation correctly, but only algebraically at the same time. I think I still didn't pass the question, technically what it was asking by, but algebraically, I think I definitely passed that. I believe it was at zero point 0.8 and 40, I believe. It should be that. Later on, I do not think I passed that performance task, even though I was very good at that one question. I was probably terrible in the others. I definitely know I did not pass that at all. Later on, I finished a 10 problem online Delta Math review about side splitter theorem. It is very easy, and I find it very easy using the proportions, as I say. I found it easy to upload the work on Chromebook, but I realized that uploading it on Chromebook, the quality is really bad, so I just did it on phone later on. From 3 to 3:20 p.m., mostly calm, not much here. An interesting dynamic in class is between the Fig guy and the Platter guy, where they're very humorous toward each other, but there isn't really much else to mention today.